The latest rocket launch by North Korea has prompted both Japan and South Korea to issue alerts urging millions of people to prepare to evacuate or take shelter. This was the moment that the sirens went off in the South Korean capital. There was confusion and chaos as people awoke to the sound of the air raid siren and an emergency message telling them to prepare for an evacuation, only to be told 20 minutes later it had been an error. State media in North Korea said the launch involved a military reconnaissance satellite which crashed into the sea, and a second launch would take place soon. According to the South Korean military, the projectile had disappeared from radar and might have crashed or exploded. Well, the United States has joined South Korea and Japan in condemning the launch, saying it involved ballistic missile technology in breach of UN sanctions. Our correspondent in Seoul, Jean Mackenzie, explained how the drama unfolded.
Well, I first heard about it when I, like millions of other people in Seoul, was awoken by this air raid siren this morning, which is incredibly uncommon here. It's just not something that we're used to hearing. We then started to get these loudspeaker messages being played out, telling people to prepare for an evacuation. But then 20 minutes later, we received another message telling us all that this had been a mistake. So as you can imagine here, there was a fair amount of panic initially, and then confusion as people tried to work out what it all meant and what to do. Now, we do know now that North Korea launched this spy satellite. So it fired a missile that was carrying the spy satellite. The satellite was meant to be put into orbit in space, but we know that that failed. North Korea has told us it has failed. The rocket that was carrying the satellite actually exploded in midair and fell into the sea. So that rocket, that missile, never made it anywhere near South Korea.
For the time at which the people of Seoul believed that they were under threat, is it clear what people in the city are expected to do, how they're expected to respond to such an alert and to those sirens?
So there was about a 20-minute period between the air raid sirens going off and us receiving this message to say that it had been a mistake. And I think in this time there was a lot of confusion. People were unclear what to do. And that is because people here have lived with the threat of North Korea for 70 years. So many people here have actually become desensitized to it. They are just so used to living with it. They are not used to air raid sirens going off and being told to seek shelter. So yes, I think there was a lot of confusion and people weren't clear what to do. Now, the interesting thing is, I think that it could push people now one of two ways. We've heard from people today saying that actually this has prompted them to really think and start planning about what they would do in a real emergency. But there is also a fear that others will respond in the opposite way. And because this was a false alarm, next time there is a real emergency, they might be slower to respond or they might fail to respond.
Do we know for sure what level of capability North Korea has in this field?
Well, at the moment, North Korea doesn't have a spy satellite in space. That's why it's such a key piece of technology and something that the country has been working to develop for a very long time. At the moment, it's on the back foot because all of its enemies do have spy satellites in space, pointing down here at the Korean Peninsula. So the US has them, Japan, Russia, China. Kim Jong-un has wanted to get satellite into space for a very long time so that he can monitor incoming attacks, but also so that he can more accurately plot his own attacks. So this will be a big disappointment for the North Koreans today, and they have already said that they are preparing to try and launch again in the near future.
North Korea experienced an accident during its planned satellite launch, resulting in the satellite crashing into the sea. Originally scheduled to monitor U.S. military activities, the launch was set to be completed by 11th of June. However, North Korea now intends to conduct a second launch at the earliest opportunity. This incident caused a false alarm in Seoul, the capital of South Korea, and prompted a warning to residents of Okinawa, situated in southern Japan. The accident highlights the challenges and risks associated with North Korea's space program and has raised concerns and attention from neighboring countries regarding missile technology advancements.